Hi, this is Daniel with Blitz Still USA. Today we're going to show you how to put together your brand new Blitz bike. This thing came in pretty darn heavy, the box was, but it was pretty well assembled already. I got one side assembled already. I don't feel like taking it apart twice. Not a big necessity. I'll show you all the different tricks and tips on how to put it together. We'll start with the seat slapper in there. First thing you need to do is need to find the screw for the back. And then once you get down in there, you'll eventually have to find a hole that it sits in. And then that way it goes down. One cool thing about this bike is it comes with all the different tools you need. I'm going to use some different tools just to make it a little quicker, but it does come with every tool that you need, so you don't need to go out and buy anything. Next thing we'll do is we'll put the seat together, and all you gotta do is tighten a bolt on each side. I've already tightened the left side. The biggest thing is to make sure it's nice and center. You can always adjust it later. Take the top one and tighten it down nice and tight. And then I'm gonna make sure I don't want to put this together twice, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten the other side too to make sure that one's tight as well. I do have it on a table. I tried putting this thing together on the floor on the first time, and I didn't have any friends. I just don't. So it's really hard to get the back legs on. So I put it on a table. You definitely don't have to, but I think it's gonna be the easiest way, in my opinion. I went ahead and put the front plate on. So the front plate has the wheels, the back plate is just flat. It doesn't have any wheels in the back, okay? And a nice new beefy pedal. They are labeled right and left, so you really can't mess this up. Right side goes on the right, left side goes on the left. It does come with Loctite already on it, but the cool part is we gave you Loctite. This is not oil, this is Loctite. Please do not try to lubricate parts with this. You will ruin the thing. This is Loctite, it is not oil. The right side is regular threaded. Okay, so righty-tighty. So you're gonna take your tool that it comes with, this bad boy, go on the smaller side, and you're just gonna tighten it on up. And it has arrows on it to tell you what way to tighten it. The left side is reverse threaded. So right side is regular thread. If you feel like you can't get the left side on, it's because you're going the wrong direction. So you're gonna tighten left, which is weird. But that way when you pedal, it doesn't fall apart. Because otherwise, if it's regular threaded and you pedal, it'll loosen itself every time you pedal. So there's that. Nice and tight. You can get these tight. They do have Loctite on them, so please, you can tighten these down pretty snug. All right, so now we're gonna put together the monitor. It does come with a drink holder for your water bottle. It's just 2 screws. They're already set in there. Just take a screwdriver, loosen it, tighten those back on. Kind of the more tricky part is this head unit. So it does come with batteries, so you're gonna have to pop this off, throw the batteries that come with it on there, which is kind of cool. Go ahead and plug it in. This thing, it's got a long cord, but it can be kind of finicky. It'll go up in there, but it's not too hard to get it back in and out. What I would do is stuff it down in there as deep as you can. Okay, and then you're gonna line up your 2 top tabs and then your 2 top screws with the holes that are up here, or sorry, holes that are up in the top right. So on this back plate, there's only 4 places where you can put a screw. It's pretty self-explanatory. And it's got these big washers on here, so you can't really mess it up. You know me, I like to use power tools, but for this I'll use what comes with it, just this little screwdriver. And then get your bottom 2 in. They're kind of tricky, they're back behind this plate, so you gotta set them in first with your hand. And then you can use a screwdriver. But once again, it's back behind this plate right here. Once again, it's gonna be silver. So you know you have it lined up right if it's where you're screwing into is silver. So I over tighten this one too much, so I can slide it forward just so I get that last screw in there. I do have power tools with me, so I'm gonna go ahead and take my power tools and just get it down in there. Definitely don't have to use power tools, just I like things quick. Okay, I'll be up top. Now we got our display unit put together. Go ahead and pop her in. Now until you hear a click. You're gonna shove that wire up in here as much as you can. And then your two smaller screws, there's only two of these, are gonna go up here. And it comes with Allen keys or Allen wrenches. You don't need to use power tools, I just happen to have them. That hand tight, and then I'll snug it down here in a second. You do a lot of pushing on this top display, so make sure it's not overly tight, but not too loose. Alright, now last part we gotta do is put the handle, attach the handle to the pedal. Once again, this is the right side, so we're putting the right side of the box, or the bike, sorry. This is the right side, we're gonna put on the right side of the bike. These are not reverse threaded on either side, they both are righty tighty. So, put her on in. This is a really long screw, so let's take a little bit. This would be a great time to go ahead and break out the Loctite and Loctite these. If you've ever had a bike, you know that these come loose. No matter what the brand, no matter how much you paid for it, they come loose. But we're going to go ahead and put some Loctite on there. I'm going to save you a headache. You do have to cut the top off this bottle. I did it earlier, exploded everywhere. There is a little tiny top on this bottle, so you're going to have to cut it off for it to be able to flow. Keep this bottle. If anything does come loose, it shouldn't. But just in case, you can always throw more Loctite on there. Take this tool and then really get her in there and tight. You want this bad boy tight. Worst case scenario, you can also stick a screwdriver through here and get a little more tight. This already comes pre-assembled on this side. So what you're going to do is you're going to get that screw out. It is tight clearance in here, so I'll show you how to get around that. It does have a couple different things I'll show you. One of my favorite features about this bike is the handle. It's got this pine joint in it, is what it's called, and it just makes it a lot easier to assemble with too. This thing can move, this pine joint, so it's a lot easier to put together. First things first is you're going to get the big bolt through. And then on the back side, this is kind of a pain, is there's a washer, a lock nut, and then this big old nut. Ready? So there's this washer, this lock nut, and this big old nut. So what I found was easiest was to kind of smush them all together, and then back the bolt out on this side, and start tightening it on this side first with just your hand. So hold that nut on this side. And then you can start tightening them. This joint doesn't have a ton of friction or wear on it, so you don't have to like over tighten it. So now you're going to use your two spanners. Hold one side, tighten the other. You don't have to get it super tight. But just get tight enough. That's good enough. All right, the last part is, in my opinion, kind of the hardest part, is the 2 feet. They're not super light, and the whole bike is not super light. So I put it on a table. If you got a friend or a family member that can come help you, there's 4 of these bigger bolts. This is gonna be the front and the back. So you're gonna put it up in there, and then you're gonna start trying to find the hole in the bottom. gosh, this thing's a pain. Can you edit all that?
Yep. I'm gonna leave it in.
Huh?
Gonna leave it in.
Ripping ass in it.
Canadians appreciate a little ass rip.
The who?
I love the Canadians.
I don't know.
At least Terrence and Phillip do.
Terrence and Phillip. I fought it, Phillip. It's the only way to do it. There we go. Got one. All the digging. And that is your Bells of Steel Blitz bike assembled. Overall, it took 15 to 20 minutes. Not that complicated. Hope this video helped. Thank you.